on so many levels. This is flat out good news, by the way. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Exciting news. I can't even say it's breaking news, but I'm proud of the defense. Y'all know I'm team defense all day, every day. Give me that good news, good news, good news. Come on, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to Parsons, Diggs, and Zach Martin. He already been there before. He been there, you know. But shout out to Zach Martin too. Let's not leave him out. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. The name is Law to the Nation. In that order. Come on. Mama said there'll be days like this. I can't believe Bosa been talking to the Bosa brothers. Come on. Hey. Shout out to the Facebook gang. Shout out to y'all. Swat up, baby. Y'all all right? Are y'all cool with me? Who do you believe in? Come on. If you don't like this news, you must be out of your goddamn mind. Come on. I was super busy this morning, and when I got this information, I said, man, let me just go ahead and take a break. Appreciate everybody for being part of this episode. The name is Law Nation. We talk Cowboys, sports, talk football, and beyond. Playoff weekend. If your team is not in the playoff, please, 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 please don't come over here trying to talk noise, right? It's only for the team that's in the playoffs. So the news of the hour, Parsons, Trevon Diggs, as well as my guy, Zach Martin, all made all-pro. Now, I get it. A lot of people are going to say, what about, the Pro Bowl? Pro Bowl is cool, it's just a glorified, who's deal there with the Pro Bowl. If you're knowledge enough within football, you know that, hey, that's really cool. But all-pro is what matter, really. That's where you really know that you'd have made it to the heights of the heights, what I'm saying? So appreciate it. Appreciate everybody for jumping in as you guys begin to hit that share button, because I know you guys are. If you haven't hit that share button, shame. If you had not subscribed to the channel, man, shame. And promise you, if you had not also, shame. Like this thing, shame. Come on, baby. What's wrong with you? Shame. I ain't too proud to beg, baby. Shout out to y'all, man. Like I said, the name is Law Nation. People get a little aggressive here and there, And one of the things I wanted to pull up, because I was in mid-process of submitting this video out earlier. Let me see if I can find it over here on the back end. Appreciate everybody. Bosa was asked, like, what you gonna do about Tyron Smith and La'el Collins? And this was his response.
That was going to be a challenge for you.
I think. Let me see me rewind a little bit more. Let me give this man a little bit more time. Let y'all fill in, fill on in. Here we go.
What does Tyron Smith and La'el Collins, what did they do that was going to be a challenge for you?
I think they're both very solid players. Obviously Tyron's had a Hall of Fame career, I think.
Pump the brakes. How you gonna say the man had a Hall of Fame career? You speaking ill of Tyron Smith. The thing that I love out of the Spicy Talk Cowboy Nation is this right here. As long as we've been watching football, especially the Dallas Cowboys, no one thought in their mind to ever call out Tyron Smith. We don't know what an angry Tyron Smith looked like, right? Nobody really pee down his back and say, hey, man, it's rain. It's just yellow rain. No. Nobody really play around with the lion, right, of the offensive line. So this is going to be very new to see what an angry Tyron Smith looked like. Now, Lyle Collins, we can go back and forth with that one. But Tyron Smith, man, that is something that we're going to look back and say, all right, Bosa, you putting up a lot of food on the plate. You better make sure you eat it all.
But they're definitely beatable. There's tape on them.
There's tape on them. Sometimes it's good, Cowboy Nation and 49ers Nation, if there's ever such a thing. By the way, bang, bang, Niner gang, it kind of sounds a little, you might want to man that up a little bit. You saying bang, bang, Niner gang. That you might want to put a little bit more masculinity on bang, bang. I'm just saying, you're trying to keep everything 100 with you, with your word vernacular, with the words that y'all choose to say, Cause that sound kind of, I know California, is liberal and all. Look. I ain't trying to say a certain thing to get me canceled because, you know how they go, the Rainbow Committee and everything. But bang, bang, Niner gang. I ain't trying to throw some things at y'all, but that kind of sound a little, suspect a little bit,
Beat and
just to be honest,
trying to do the same. But they've definitely been in and out of the lineup a lot this year and the past years, so just game plan is to make them work.
We'll see about who is going to work. Let me pull up my comment section, man. I really appreciate y'all so much. But let me know if y'all feeling me on the same page. Like, come on, Cowboy Nation. We can't be like bang, bang Cowboys, that. Bang, bang, chicken wing. Ain't nothing to it but to see the monkey swing. You know what I'm saying? You know how this thing go. Let me get this other way. Bam. That's the other guy. Let me just do it this way then. Let me go. Y'all bear with me. Bam. Boom. Boom. Building the plane as we fly. Yeah. Definitely beatable. That was Nicholas Bosa. I don't know whether or not I can show the video, but it'll be I'll do the full video a little later on. But I wanted to give praises to my young guys. I had my guy, Lord Brunson, on the show yesterday. Basically, I was on his show, and I was just duplicating it so it can be live over here. And basically, he was saying that how long can this last, right? Like this run for the Cowboys. And he was talking about, do you think there's a window that's going to be shut or closed? And I had to remind him and everybody that was watching, we got 5 years with Parsons. We can hold that brother feet to the fire all the way. And last I checked, his dad, diehard Cowboy fan, I'm talking about Parsons now. That goes a long way, Cowboy Nation. Yeah. And when we fast forward to the contract expiring of Trevon Diggs and everything like that, we can literally say to ourselves, too, this is his second year. This is not like his fourth or fifth year going on right now. This is Trevon Diggs' second year. Let that rest into your mind. You just grab a blanket, curl up against it. Oftentimes on the defensive side of the coin, you look for ways to build around it, right? And I'm not saying that you only look at Parsons and say, okay, I'm going to build around that. But what you can start doing now is say, okay, you can do two things. Either you can say, all right, cool, I'm going to rest everything and hope for the best with Jabril Cox and say those will be my tandem, right? Remember that, the tandem piece of it. Or you can go back into the drawing pool or board, right? Drawing pool or board. Y'all let me know in the chat. you can go back to the drawing board. Yeah, drawing board, not drawing pool. Go back to the drawing board and say, you know what? I'm going to find a dynamic linebacker to place him right there with Parsons. Huh? Tandems, right? Tandems. And then you can look at Trevon Diggs and say, okay, all right, we went and drafted in the second round another DB anyhow named Kelvin Joseph. He haven't earned the name Boss Man Fat yet, right? But we waiting for him. But Kelvin Joseph, just like Trevon Diggs, he got his hands on the ball. Collectively speaking, I think that Kelvin Joseph, even at his minimum snaps, he could already have 3 to 4 interceptions this year alone. This past season, basically, in the regular. But, of course, we didn't account for Anthony Brown taking the ball and being stingy with it and not giving it back. Anthony Brown, this is one of his better seasons since his rookie year, right? And then we can look at, what Jordan Lewis did for this season, and this is one of his better seasons. I think Jordan Lewis got 2 sacks and 3 interceptions for this season. That's not bad for your nickel corner, right? So both of those guys play beyond what our expectations were of them in the past, right? So neither here nor there. You now talking about team building. You're talking about long-term effect. The gape in the hole that we have on his team, one can argue on the defense. You can really argue none, but let's be real. We can say, okay, we need help up front again. We like what Neville Gallimore brings to the table. Carlos Watkins playing out of his mind for the 2021 season, but that's not still enough of what we really want, right? And then we can look at it, okay, and I'm talking about team building, Cowboy Nation. Yeah. Zach Martin should be all-pro. He's the best guard in football. Yeah, Zach Martin is all-pro again. I didn't put it in the title. I wanted to just talk about the defensive side, but, yeah, not to leave out Zach Martin. He made all-pro as well, Cowboy Nation. He well-deserved. All of those boys well-deserved all-pro. Now, just close your eyes. If we had Travis Frederick, man, my God, he would have been all-pro too. So it would have been crazy. But neither here nor there. When we talking about building an empire, and we talked about the vacancy that Mike Fisher was talking about, as it relates to like who should be the replaceables or who will stand in and fit in. And let me see if I got that photo somewhere right here. He was talking about it. Shout out to Mike Fisher. Here we go. Bam. When we was talking about this, right? Replacement for Dan Quinn if he leave, and this is just only speculative talk or what have you, and y'all know how speculation for the nation go. I'm really not a big fan of it, but that's just how it goes with the nature of news reporting. Replacement will be George Edwards, Vic Fangio. I'm not a big fan of Vic Fangio. Shout out to him when he was with the Denver Broncos, but that's a story of a different day. But the conversational piece is this right here. How do you build around that? And one thing that I must empower Jerry Jones and John Stephen Jones and, the guy that got a contract extension, my guy, Will McClay, is culture. You can have all of the tools in place, right? But it's the culture that designs and fit everything. And I believe if Dan Quinn stayed here for like at least 3 to 4 years, more years, you're going to see Parsons elevate even more, because you got to know this right here, Cowboy Nation, that we only seeing a scoop, a scoop of this ice cream with Parsons. We not getting the full bucket yet. This is just one little scoop. It's good. You only getting 2 scoops right now from Trevon Diggs. 2 scoops, right? And we only had a slither with Kelvin Joseph, right? And we already knew the flavors of Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis. But when we contextualize all of this, the culture that my dog bringing in, Dan Quinn, of going out there saying, hey, let me put the helmet on. Let me work with these guys. if D-Law played all this season, I guarantee you he would have made All-Pro. Call me silly, but I guarantee you he would have made All-Pro. If Randy, and I'm talking about ifs, and of course, if was a fifth, we'd all be kind of drunk right here. You know what I'm saying? But if Randy Gregory. But we got some issues a little bit that we're going to resolve, and they so minor and minute. Right? C. Burleson's hating on my dog, my boy Diggs, shaking my head. Yeah, a lot of people like pundits, critics, the media, and beyond hated on Diggs all this year. And I'm not using the word hated casually, because yards given up was never a major factor until 2021. J-Rod says Baskin Robbins 31 flavors. Yeah. Yeah, Baskin Robbins pretty dope. Yeah, pretty dope. Yeah. So shout out to you, Carl. Appreciate you, man. Always giving me shouts out, man. I really appreciate that. So when we look at everything, Cowboy Nation, I absolutely believe that there's no salary cap as it relates to coaching staff in your staffing agency. And if you believe that you want this team to go far, not short, if you believe that you want this team to host and lift up that Lombardi trophy, then by golly, you'll open up that wallet. You'll just open it up and you'll say, hey,
breaking news.
Dan Quinn is now the highest paid defensive coordinator in the National Football League, right? All right? And you will keep that chemistry alive. Now, I'm going to point this out. I'm going to touch on it a little bit, and then I'm going to get off of it. Okay, Cowboy Nation and everybody that's watching. Now, there will be some more distractions, whether it be next week or beyond or what have you, pooling of coaches and these sorts of things, due to the pressure that the NFL like to go down the pipeline of the Rooney Rule. So far, there's only one African American or Black American, however he want to identify himself as, an Aborigine American, whatever. There's only one of them in the National Football League right now as a head coach, and his name is Mike Tomlin, right? So what they're going to do now is, we got a few brothers over here. Georgia Edwards, by the way, Joe Witt Jr., as well as my guy Al Harris. The moment we continue to do these more and more positive things happening in Cowboys land, there'll be pulling of those coaches to some of those Broncos jobs, Giants jobs, Jacksonville Jaguar jobs, and Chicago Bears. Let the AI speak.
The hate is real. Proving folks wrong has been my life. DC4L, fire, fire, fire.
No doubt, no doubt. So that's what's going to happen. They're going to pull some of them. And let's be real. Yeah, Robert Saleh, he ain't got the complexion like Mike Tomlin. Let's be real with it. We talking about brother. I'm talking about a dude that you pull up at the 7-Eleven and he got a hoodie on and he got a gun hanging out of the side of his pocket. You can be like, oh, Lord Jesus. He finna rob the place type of situation. I ain't trying to talk about my brothers, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Let's stop playing around with it. Yeah, you got other minorities like the Washington football team coach as well as Robert Saleh. But they can blend in. But you can't say Mike Tomlin, he can't blend in. He's going to get picked up just like the rest of us. So let's keep it real. I'm keeping it 100. I ain't trying to lie to kick it. That's not my style. But what I'm saying is Joe Witt Jr., Al Harris, George Edwards, those boys are going to get interviewed due to the Rooney Rule, and they're going to do that only to solidify that role, which I don't like. I absolutely don't like, so that's the reality of it. Yeah, Kay said he's black. Well, he's on the fair skin of it. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, Cowboy Nation, I just want you guys to be aware that that's what's going to happen. That's the reality of it. Now, I'm off of it. Just to put it out there with the coaching situation. All right, Cowboy Nation. My guy, Mike McCarthy had the interview early this morning with 105.3 The Fan. And when you think about it, he spoke good stuff about being playoff ready, mindset, things that we never got a chance and an opportunity to see, you know, especially within the confines of the department of Monday. This is what we do. Tuesday, this is what we do. Hey, we take a break off on Wednesday, but now we get back on Thursday. We never got a chance. We never got a chance to do these things. Shout out to you, C. Nick. Appreciate you, Peggy White. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your donations and your love and adulation. You know, real brothers ain't getting the job. I feel you on that, Natasha. When you see him, you say, he ain't got no leash on. That's a pit bull. Yeah. Natasha know what I'm talking about. You know, there's some dogs. You see the dog down the street. That's one of those, Shih Tzus. A Shih Tzu is loyal to a T. You know, you go you see a Shih Tzu, a little bit of dog just got a long heart. And you do you snap at it like this, it'll be a trail of urine. What you do to my dog? I ain't do nothing. The dog's barking at me. You know, I bark back, you know. But when you see a pit bull, you gonna act right. You ain't, that pit bull barking, you know, let me see if I got my sound effect. You hear that one time, you gonna say, you know what? You said I'm gonna have to go down the other street. I'm going down the other street. You know what I'm saying? So you know when you see a pit bull and you don't see one. Come on, let's stop being unreal, Cowboy Nation. You know when you see that dog, you see that Cujo dog. Yeah, so you know the difference between, you know, come on. Look, a lot of people don't get it, but I know Natasha did. You know, that's all that matters. As long as Natasha got it, I understand it. Little dogs are annoying. This from BD Gray. Yeah, they are annoying. But they got a lot of heart, though. You know, the kiddo Taco Bell. You know, they be coming at you, you know. Oh, my God, them dogs got heart, man. Let me see. Oh, okay, I got to do it this way. It's okay. We can build it while we're in the air. Let me go right here. Go right here. Boom, pull this over like that. Slide this back over to the right. Yeah, there we go. We back in it. All right, so let me see if I got audio. Like I said, shout out to Parsons. My goodness. Shout out to Trevon Diggs, TD. Now, what do this mean as it relates to those boys heading into the playoffs? Confidence. It means a lot. Let's see.
Have laughed or gotten a little ticked off over this narrative of this game of, you know, it's physical versus finesse, and San Fran is going to come in here and try to beat up the Cowboys, and they're the tougher, more physical team. Have you heard that, Coach, and your reaction or your guys' reactions to that thought?
No, I mean, I haven't. No, I have not heard that. I mean, I definitely understand, you know, how San Francisco presents itself and in the style of play that they bring to the table. But I respect their style of play, and I think it's definitely, you know, lines up with our style of play, and I think it'll be a big part of the contest. It always is. I mean, I think it'll be one of the keys to victory for us is the, you know, not only the style of play that they bring in here and we bring into the game. It's going to be the focus and discipline of it through 4 quarters. So, yeah, Christ's sake, I don't mean to say it. I don't look at our team as a finesse team, so this is the first time I've been asked that all week, so great job.
Oh,
now, what do y'all see? You know, do y'all see this team as being a finesse team, or do you guys see this team as a physical team? or do you guys see this team, hey, we can get physical, when we want to, and we can make it finesse when you want to? I used to have my cousin, man. We played pickup basketball, and he's a big, tall guy, by the way, And he used to say this all the time. We throwing the ball, no look pass, he underneath the goal, and he just finger roll it, We're like, dog, you 6'5", man. Why don't you go ahead and dunk it? Hey, when the dunk worked 3 points.
Zach Martin is also all-pro.
Yeah. We discussed that one. Yeah, he said, hey, when the dunk worked 3 points, that's when he would do it. And I said, dog, you finesse. And the next time he got down in the hole, he kind of backed the dude down and then turned around and windmill dunked that thing. And he said, finesse these nuts. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't on me, it was on my partner. But what I was trying to say is that I don't want this team to listening in to the narrative and go beyond of what they do. You know what I'm saying? Just stick to the style and the flavor that you play. If it's winning, then you getting it in. Don't have to really, bend what you do. And I've read some people that posted in the communication tab under my previous video and said, hey, don't you know that if it wasn't for 17 weeks, the Niners wouldn't even be in this game? Shout out to you from Germany. Appreciate you. So let's not give the 49ers all of the power. Granted, anything can happen when you're in the playoffs. But let's listen to more of what Mike have to say.
Oh, yes. All right. Bad job by the other media members. All right. Do you have
You said it.
do you have a magical McCarthy motivational trick planned for your guys before this one?
Magical? No. I think it's messaging for the way we do it in-house here. It kind of forms itself during the week. I mean, you definitely have focal points that you're hitting on. But, yeah, there's no watermelons in the building. I'm just saying.
Oh, my goodness, man. Hey, some people don't get the watermelon reference, but Mike McCarthy, I think it was last year, we had to face against a team that was supposed to be more physical than us. Y'all remember, let me talk like this. We was facing against a team that was more physical than us. Allegedly, they had a guy that was running everywhere, Dalvin Cook. Y'all remember that? It's impossible for the Cowboys to go in there and beat the Minnesota Vikings because they got that front. The defense is nasty. Oh, my goodness. With a plan to get these guys, riled up for the game. And he brought in a boatload of, watermelons. And he had a hammer, and he called out the defensive players, hey, why don't you come on down, smash this pumpkin, smash this watermelon. And we end up being victorious in that game, right? Shout out to you, Junior Gamer. Yeah, we end up winning. We beat we was physicality, my guy, not Diggs, but Donovan Wilson, he baptized Dalvin Cook in the mighty name of the Thunder hit, right? And we end up playing this song. Y'all remember the song? I mean, he laid Dalvin Cook out, right? And he said, you know what? I'm not running the ball anymore. I'm going to sit on the sideline. And the Cowboys were victorious, and I will never forget first take, second take, third take. Everybody was talking about how racist it was for a white man to tell another black man to smash some watermelons. And I did the video, and I said, come on, y'all reaching, man. Watermelon is a good fruit, by the way. Give me some watermelon, some chicken wings. I love it. Why would we get mad at something that we like? You don't say when you see a Mexican, or somebody with Latin descent, and you say, hey, I want tacos. That ain't racist. If I like watermelon and some chicken wings or some flats or something like that, leave me alone. That feel good. That food go good together. And from my knowledge, Cowboy Nation, There's a lot of people of the Caucasian or persuasion like watermelon and chicken wings. So leave it alone. But they went on and on and on of how racist Mike McCarthy is about bringing watermelons up to the thing and say, hey, let's smash them. I come here to tell you, Cowboy Nation, if we can smash some watermelons and we play hard and physical for these next, we got 4 more games. Shoot, I would reach in my personal pocket. If it's for me to win the Super Bowl, I would bring a whole boatload. I believe everybody in the chat would bring watermelon and chicken to the Star in Frisco and say, hey, smash these watermelons. Let's go get this Super Bowl. Ain't nothing racist about it. Let's go.
It's a good reference. Mike McCarthy joins us here, 105 through the Fan. How does Kyle Shanahan make the running game? I'm a passing guy. How does he make it fun? Because usually you think running it's just pound it in the middle, boring. He makes it creative and fun. What does he do differently as a coach?
I appreciate his creativity. I think, but he stays to his core values. If you look at I know every coach has a history and a path that they go through as far as establishing their own identity and their own voice and particularly their own style of play and scheme, scheme awareness. And I think he does that, in the run game. I mean, it's obviously you look at the way their lines are built. There's a lot of investment in their offensive, defensive lines, so they're very talented. But I think he does an excellent job of being creative, and particularly, I think they do a really good job of stressing the C gap is the way we've always viewed it. For whether you're trying to set the edges to the front side of the run or the cutback lane to the backside. So I think they do a really good job with formation and shifting and particularly being in one personnel.
All right, so let me know if you guys can hear the audio now. All right, so basically what he's saying is that what the 49ers do is like to attack the C gap, and that's on the edges. Everybody's seen where we break down. Is the audio better now, Cowboy Nation? Let me know. Do I have to repeat everything that I just said earlier? Can you hear me now? Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To the audio. Oh man, so some of y'all is good, and some of y'all, I must have struck a nerve with the Illuminati. Shout out to the Illuminati all over my body, baby. But I'm gonna come here to tell you, Cowboy Nation, what he's saying is the truth. The aspect of this right here, the 49ers love to attack the edges there, and it's from misdirections, C gap. Everybody know there's 2 C's on the edge. I say C is forever, and then you have B gap, and then you have double A gap. And that's how, you do your alignments and assignments. That's how you see which way your mic is trying to shoot through. That's why it's so important to identify the mic linebacker so that you can get your blocking scheme together, and so you can predict or predicate it upon how they shoot through a certain situation is how your block is going to go. So that's why it's so important to make sure that you cover up and you find out who's the mic linebacker. Now, what he's saying is that they like to attack that C gap and bring pressure. Think of it like this, Cowboy Nation. I know you guys seen Jurassic Park. And one of the Jurassic Park episodes, they had to fly back into the island. And they were saying, okay, when we fly back into the island, where are the bigger dinosaurs are located at? And they were saying in the middle of the island, that's where the bigger one's at. But on the outskirts of the island, you have your faster, elusive, and they are just as dangerous because they have the element of surprise, dinosaurs. And which way you want to be dropped off. You had to be dropped off in the middle or on the edge. And the same could be said about the football game. Your bigger boys are located in the interior, right? And on the edge, you have your lighter guys. So when you're talking about physicality, you're looking at it like how can you put much stress on the edges, and how can you get the matchup that you want my big boy against your little guys. And that's through pulling, that's through design, that's through, hey, I'm going to send Juice, that's their big fullback, to hit the guy off the edge so you can run right behind it. Flood concept, all of those things is all predicated upon scheme. So that's what Mike McCarthy was talking about, basically, and that was my analogy. But let me rewind so you guys can hear it. I hope the audio is better this time, Cowboy Nation. Let's go.
And scheme, scheme awareness. And I think he does that, in the run game. I mean, it's obviously you look at the way their lines are built. There's a lot of investment in their offensive, defensive lines, so they're very talented. But I think he does an excellent job of being creative, and particularly, I think they do a really good job of stressing the C gap is the way we've always viewed it. For whether you're trying to set the edges to the front side of the run or the cutback lane to the backside. So I think they do a really good job with formation and shifting and particularly being in one personnel group and be able to attack you with two back concepts and one back concepts and empty back concepts. So I think he does a very good job being creative and challenging the defense.
Coach, it looks like you guys are looking near perfect or as great as you could have hoped health-wise. Is that the same for COVID today as of what you know? I know where you're going next after this call, what office you're going to, but you guys looking good in that regard still today?
Looking good. I've already been down there with Jim in the training room, so everything's clear today.
Nice.
So we're off to another great start. Yeah, I can't say enough about our our players and really our coaching and support staff. I mean, just the urgency and the awareness of doing the extra things. So knock on wood, it's been a really good week.
Knock on wood, baby.
I'm hoping we're through the storm that we were in last week and in the prior week. So, but yeah, it's the health of our football team. And when I look at the big picture, with Jerry, Steven, and Will, just how we projected the roster and trying to get guys back at the right time and playing guys at a certain play time here down the stretch, I think it's worked out very well. It's really laid up nicely for us because this is the healthiest we've been in quite some time.
Coach, officiating has obviously been a big storyline throughout this year. I can never remember in my 10 years of doing this waiting for the crews to be announced to talk about that on the radio. But what do you know about this crew in terms of their tendencies and maybe what to expect Sunday?
Well, I mean, it's really the statistical breakdown of the crew for this week. You really kind of have to throw it out the window. Alex Kemp, we've had him this year, but it's an all-star. An all-star crew, so I think he only has one other official that from his crew that's on there, the Kemp Super Crew, and so I think my experience, and I hope it holds true, is you're not talking about officiating a whole lot in the playoffs, and I hope that's the case. But yeah, you can't really, because my belief is the crew's performance is really driven by the white hat, and I think the fact that these guys haven't really worked together. So, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm very hopeful and confident that we won't be talking much about the officials after this game.
Yeah. What they do is in the playoff is that they elect the highest scorings of the crews, and they put together a crew. So it won't be a specific crew that we had previously. It will be always a mixture. And what he's saying is that I hope that these guys know to work together. Sometimes it's just like playing pickup basketball or a spade game. If you know your partner, you kind of can roll with it a little bit. You can set up some things. But if you don't know them, you got to get maybe a game or so out the way in order for those boys to be on the same page. So this first officiating game may be you may see some hiccups. You may see some flags that were thrown, and then all of a sudden they come out and they pick up the flag or what have you and say, nah, this is not a foul. So we will be looking into that. As far as consistency, we don't know. Gallup says, I want to see Zeke and Tony on the field at the same time. When the Cowboys present that look, we get positive yards. Newsflash. Take a look at the Chargers game on the opening drive. If that was one of the better drives we had all year, the Chargers game, opening drive. Just take a look into that one. And I believe they utilized Ezekiel and Tony at the same time. Slick Taco says, hey, Law, what's up? What's 49ers' biggest weakness? The Dallas can expose, and how do you think our boys will attempt to do so? 2 cents on the final score prediction. I'm not going to give a final score prediction just yet, but what I can tell you is this right here, Slick. Their weakness, you can argue, is the secondary. Now, the safeties like Tart and Ward, those boys, Jimmy, those boys are, in between. But I can tell you, double move, with it, lack of experience on the secondary, you can probably win off of that situation. Far as their linebackers, they don't blitz. This team, this 49ers team don't blitz. They require or rely on their front four. Normally, when you look into it and you say, well, quarterbacks would love the fact to know that you don't blitz. But meaning when you don't blitz, that means more people are in coverage, right? And Dak Prescott, when we were talking about his slump, is because people decided not to blitz Dak Prescott. If you want to give Vic Fangio any bead of credit, say, hey, man, kudos, man. You realize not to blitz Dak, play everybody in zone, give him a clouded look, and he would give you one, right? But I come here to tell you that if they're going to drop coverage, if they're going to just rely on their front four to stop the run, which they've been pretty good so far this year, but let's be real, this team, the Dallas Cowboys, Tony Pollard averaged 5.5 yards per rush. So if he captured the edge, and if you get those boys on the front five to play a little aggressive and angry and pulling, it's going to be a long night for them, especially if we keep at that average. So the biggest weakness to the 49ers are their secondary. Where is their secondary? Who else we have here? Appreciate you, Slick Taco, for the donation, though, by the way. Alex says, appreciate you, man. Perfect time to break the 49ers with a lot of Mac package run. Well, perfect time to break the 49ers, score early and often. You get the lead, and it's good night, Irene.
Is my thought.
Coach, Jerry talked to us on Tuesday about potentially having the kicking woes altering the game plan. Do you see that as a possibility, that maybe you go for two a little bit?
Yeah, Josh Norman is not even going to be in the starting lineup, so I didn't even mention him. Yeah, he is trash. And Josh Norman, he's not even in the starting lineup, so let that sink in.
More, or you go for it on 4th and 3 a little bit more because of the inconsistencies at kicker.
I'll just say, you look at every game. First you start off where you're playing. So I feel good about the wind. As far as Sunday.
Right, might be good.
So that's a starting point. But no, it's you go through it every week. Greg's having a very good week of prep, and trust me, no one's more conscientious of the details of what he's going to do to perform on Sunday. So I'm definitely in tune with that. But yeah, the 4th down is something we'll spend a little more time on today, and then we'll finalize tomorrow morning in the coordinators meeting. But we have a process of going into the game of when we want to go for it on 4th down, down at distance and so forth, and we'll use the same process again this week for San Francisco.
Mike McCarthy here on the Fan. I love what you've been saying about Dak throughout the week in the daily pressers. For those that missed that, for our audience, what's he been like this week, and what's really impressed you about him preparing for a playoff game?
Well, I mean, he's Dak Prescott. I mean, if you just watch him command the huddle, it's the same every day. He commands the huddle the same in the walkthrough as he does on the field. And I think it's a tremendous asset and really a reflection of discipline in how he prepares as a professional. I mean, he's done that all year. So I think the most important thing is you just see him being himself. I think like anything, trust me, every one of us can't wait to play Sunday. This is what we've been working for. This is what we've been talking about working towards since April. So, and he's definitely at the front of the line, and he just wants to go out and perform the best he can. And trust me, I don't think there's anybody I know in my experience that doesn't put more into it than he does. So he's a great leader for us, and obviously what I always appreciate is a phenomenal example for our young players.
So that's Mike McCarthy on everything as relates to those boys. Let me hit this right here. Click that link right there that's in the description or in the chat log, depending on which platform you're watching from. And that's how you can get access to the audio without me pausing and rewinding. I really appreciate each and every last one of you guys for jumping in to this episode. Once again, shout out to Micah Parsons, shout out to Trevon Diggs, as well as shout out to Zach Martin, who occasionally been in All-Pro already, but the first team All-Pro is nothing to sneeze at, and those boys are doing their thing, baby. Let's see what I got here. Let me go right here. Hold on. Here we go.
Guys.
Yeah, so that was the end of that. Somebody else sent me something, and let me see if I got right here. AJ Jones, appreciate you, man, so much, man. Let me see what you got over here, man. I thank you so much for all that you do for me as it relates to supporting the nation. And also shout out to Ricky. He sent me a T-shirt that said I bleed blue, and he also put JSU on the front and Dallas Cowboys on the back. Man, that was remarkable, man. Shout out to you, man, for sending me things. There's something else that I wanted to share with you guys. Let me see. All right, so we got enough people in here, man. Y'all good? It's 12:19. I got into 1, really. Let me see if I can pull this up right quick. Appreciate y'all so much for jumping in. Thank you, man, AJ, for the donation, man, via Cash App, man. That's remarkable, man. Thank you so much for that. That goes a long way with the channel, help support everything, and I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate you, AJ, man, and I don't think the algorithms get 30% of that one, so I appreciate it. I really appreciate that. Let me see. Somebody sent me something, and I want to pull it up. Let me see what. Appreciate them, man. Appreciate them. All right, so I'm trying to find that article you said by Bobby Belt. But appreciate you, man. If you do got it, just tweet it at me, man, so I can read it out. But appreciate Bobby Belt is one of my guys, man. He's a friend of the show too. Him and Jane Slater. Shout out to those two. Remarkable job with Bobby Bell. Congratulate him for being one of the insiders for the Cowboys, and I really appreciate Bobby Bell and all that he do for the Cowboys universe, or multiverse, since we know that there's other galaxies out there now. But Cowboy Nation, hey, we strong, and what Marcellus Wiley personalized it with people calling him a dumb jock, I get it. You take some things personally, and you always try to prove people wrong, right? I live my life, my creed that way myself. Always trying to outdo not just my brothers as it relates to what they do. I just get that because I'm the middle child, right? You get that because at some point of your life you look at it like, hey, why you overlooking me? I'm the middle child, but you always try to overcome, whether it's individual goals or group goals or what have you. And I think that what Marcellus Wiley was talking about, what really got up under his skin when he called him a dumb jock, right? But he went to Columbia, he got accepted to that university, which is good. They don't accept anybody and everybody. So, and then he made it to the biggest of the biggest stage, playing football for the Cowboys, by the way, and playing football, I believe, for the Bills. So it is what it is. It's 1 o'clock. I gotta roll like a bounce. I gotta bounce like a basketball, yeah, or roll like a ball, however, But she appreciate you, Dara. I see in the chat. I thank those who donated. But in closing, Dak Prescott, regardless of what anybody do on his team, whether it's a 20-yard run and it's a fumble, it's all gonna be on Dak, and it's nothing new. Y'all remember the catch, no catch in 2014. People still said that, hey, Tony Romo choked, right? And that wasn't the case nor the scenario. What was the biggest problem to me was that doggone missed field goal kick by Bailey. Y'all remember that, right? And then the other thing was that big old fumble by DeMarco Murray. But we go back to the last few plays, and it's always heavy as the crown. So I'm not sitting here saying that if Tony Romo didn't get a pass, then Dak Prescott won't get a pass. But that's just how people are. People are so tuned in to saying that the Cowboys will choke, right? And they hear this day in and day out with the 4-ladder or the 3-ladder network. And we've seen it, who coined the phrase, an accident waiting to happen, which was a low blow to me for anybody to say that. And that was out of Stephen A. Smith. That what really started me to really talk and speak good of my Cowboys, just to counterbalance, what Stephen A. Smith used to say. Well, he still say it. And you remember, we never used to laugh at players when they get hurt or when they get injured, right? But he made it such a way whereas he began to laugh at people when they laying out on the floor, laying out on the ground, and he said, see, I told you they are an accident waiting to happen, and then he placated by saying, he pivoted and said, it's not the players, because some of the players started to call him out and say, hey, you heard what you said, and ESPN got into the ear and said, hey, man, we got to bring this dude on for an interview. And then he pivoted and said it's the fan base. It is the fan base that I don't stand, that I can't stand, the loud, delusional fans. And that's what we supposed to be. And we got a third of the Cowboy fans who, outside of, Eagles fan laughing at Irvin, that was kind of below them. Yes, that's who they are, throw batteries at Santa Claus and all of those things. But collectively speaking, that could be just his mindset too, Stephen A. Smith. But collectively speaking, people normally don't laugh when someone is injured because they know that their player is a Ryan Shazier hit away, right, for being just the same. Ready for this war? Yeah, we're ready for it, Cowboy Nation. Appreciate you, Nobles, royalty. Appreciate you. So, regardless, you're not all of, East Camden. I can't group everybody in the same picture there, right? I try to say collectively speaking as much as possible, but I feel you, man. Not everybody, eat horse droppings or burn their own jerseys of their team and these sorts of things, Cowboy Nation. But I come here to tell you, y'all beautiful people that's watched this episode all the way to this point, I really appreciate you. All of this talking I'm doing is just talk. It's just talk. My thoughts fabricated and pushed out to the Mecca. But these players, they gonna have to put it into action, right? They're gonna have to say to themselves, I'm tired of being sick and tired. I'm gonna have to stand firm and play to our best ability. Go back and listen to the interview that Dak Prescott said. Pressure is a privilege. And it ain't for me to run away from it. I got to continue to deliver the promise. For my mom's sake. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. I'm putting the extra words in the man's mouth. But I know that that's his mindset. For my brother and for my grandmother. They want me to see this thing successful. I can't take what the pundits are saying and fold up. Ezekiel Elliott too. meant for him to get 1,000 yards this season. C.D. Lamb worked hard to get that 1,000 yards. But all of those things in regular season goes into the box. Everybody's 0-0. Your mindset got to be this right here. How bad do you want it? And I've been saying this all year long of the 2021 season and also this year. If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough, that you don't get tired of it, and it makes you hold all of the things taut in your cheek, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, and plan for it, and lose all terror of God or your mind for it, if you will simply go after the thing you want, if dogged and grim, and besieged and beset it, with the help of Almighty Cowboy Nation, you will get it. Like Randy Gregory, father said, hey, Law Nation. That's my son right there, Randy Gregory, number 94. I said, whoa. I said, are you sure you ain't playing football? Dude was a big guy, Cowboy Nation, and I appreciate him for pointing me out, giving me that look, bling, a spotlight. But I know that can be washed away within one day, right? Let's not fool ourselves. We only here for a spot. Let's go. That beat y'all have me jumping up. Yeah. A prize fighter, even when he's down. Unless he's Nate Robinson, right? Or whoever else Jake Paul knocked out. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's continue to grind and shine, baby. What's going on with this thing? We up out of here. One love. You watching? You have not hit that like button. Shame. You don't like Law Nation, and you still here.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
War is upon us, baby.
I want me some glory hole.